To keep yourself updated, subscribe to Indigo Learn and click the bell icon and download our app OneFin to start learning on the go.
Having understood SA 510 in detail, let us now understand it in a summarized manner so that your concept will be even more clear, even more sharper. Alright, so SA 510, Initial Audit Engagement, Opening Balances. So this standard is giving a responsibility on the auditor in case of initial audit engagements. So it is a conditional standard which very simply says if it is your initial audit engagement, then this standard becomes applicable on the auditor. And he has the responsibility in this standard with respect to the opening balance verification. Clear? Now, what do you mean by initial audit engagement? Very simple. Initial audit engagement simply means you are taking up the audit for the first time of this client where the previous year has been audited either by a previous auditor or the previous year has remained unaudited. But for the current year, you are doing the audit and it is the first time that you are going to do the audit. So obviously, your responsibility is with respect to the giving an opinion on the closing statement, that is the financial statement at the year end. Now tell me, where it is the closing balances which you are going to report upon, if you have not checked the opening balances, will you be able to obtain a reasonable assurance? Will you be able to give a reasonable conclusion and the opinion appropriately? Absolutely not. For example, if suppose you are doing the audit of 21-22, we understand that you have to report on the figures as reflected as on 31st March 2022. But these amounts are the reflection of the transactions which have happened during the year plus regarding the opening balance as well. So when you have not checked the opening balance, then in that case, how can you conclude closing balances are correct? Because closing balance is nothing but opening balances plus the transactions that happened during the year, which will ultimately give you what? The closing balances. So without checking the opening balance, you could never reasonably conclude the closing balance correctness, right? So if it is your initial audit engagement, where previous year remain unaudited, or it was done by some predecessor auditor, you as the auditor are required to check or understand or correctness of the opening balances of the current year. So in my example, from 1st April 21 to 31st March 22, when that is your responsibility of giving the opinion, all the transactions which have been present or which are reflected as on 1st of April 2021 will also become your responsibility. Because if the beginning is wrong, ending is absolutely going to be wrong. Because when you start a destination, when you start with a wrong pain at the beginning, that is the wrong route is taken by you and the very first, then you are going to end up in a wrong route 100%. So the destination is going to be 100% wrong. So it is very important that from the very beginning you are at the correct path to reach at the correct destination. Now, here we talk about the terms predecessor auditor, which is the previous year auditor, not from my firm but from some other firm, and he has been replaced by me. So that is called as what? A predecessor auditor. Initial audit engagement, initial, first time you are becoming the auditor of the client. That means previous year somebody else has done it, or previous year they have not audited their audit accounts. Then we also talk about what is opening balance. Very simple. Closing balance of the last year is the opening balance of the current year. These closing balances are the reflection of last year events and transactions and the opening balances, and the closing balances. So all the events and transactions that happened in the last year are brought forward this year in the form of what? Opening balance. But only amounts will not be enough. Even disclosures as which are appearing on the beginning of the year are also your opening balances. Like you have the contingencies, you have the commitments which are appearing as a part of disclosures. Those also are the requirement of the auditor to check as a part of what? Opening balances. Now, what are the audit procedures given by the standard for the purpose of checking the opening balance? Very simple. First one, you will take recent year financial statements, audited financial statements or unaudited financial statements if they are audited with the audit report, or unaudited if the audit has not happened or the previous year was not there only. Alright, then in that case when you take it up, you will first check what? All the documentation. That means you are going to check about the audit report and you will see if there is any kind of indication that is going to give me an evidence about anything which is wrong in the opening balance. Correct? But before that, it is important for us to understand what is the standard telling us. Why are the audit procedures we are going to follow? Two important things that we have to do here. We have to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidences regarding two matters. First matter, that there should not be any material misstatement existing in the opening balance which is going to have an impact on the current year. Second, the opening balances are going to reflect correct accounting policies, and those accounting policies have to be consistently applied. If not, there has to be an appropriate disclosure for the same. So for these two things we are going to perform the audit procedure. So the first audit procedures that we are going to check is for regarding materiality or material misstatement in the opening balance. For this, what we will be doing, we will first check the financial statements of the previous year, that is the recent financial statements, obtain the audit report and see if there is any content which would be of our importance to understand if there is something which would give an indication that opening balance would have a material misstatement. Then we have to ensure or we have to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding the opening balance not to contain a material misstatement. This how can we do? First, we are going to check that the closing balance of the last year is appropriately brought forward in the current year. Simple language, copy and paste should happen correctly. Here we also give a due regard to the arithmetical accuracy, whether there is no being any error of commission and all, where you have wrongly given it, there has been a wrong carry forward of the amounts. That should not happen. So the brought forward figures have to be checked correctly. Closing of the last year appropriately brought forward in the current year, along with any prior period adjustments which are there in the statement of P&L are properly reflected or not. Second, you will see that the opening balance are reflecting the appropriate accounting policies. Correct? Third, they are giving you that you follow any of the following procedures for you to get an evidence that there is no material misstatement in the opening balance. So in the third pointer, we have subdivision of 3, which is telling you first, pursue the audit report and the audited financial statements, read them and understand them. They would somehow give you an indicator if there is a misstatement. Second, do not perform any specific audit procedure for the opening balance. You do your regular audit, but there are certain items which will give an indication to you about the relevance. That will be relevant for what? As an audit evidence for the opening balance. Like for example, about the creditors and the debtors and all of that. When you are doing the routine audit procedures which are required during the course of audit, when you are checking the bank transactions or any other transactions, you will automatically get an evidence for the opening balance. So specifically nothing you do for the evidences to obtain for opening balance, but during a routine process only you automatically get what? Evidence for the opening balance. Third, that will perform specific audit procedure. Specific are those areas where in the routine you are not able to obtain evidences with regard to their correctness, their existence, their completeness, their valuation, their rights, their obligations, you are not able to obtain evidence. So for them, specific audit procedures you have to adopt. You can inspect the documents, you can get third party confirmation. These are basically for whom? The fixed assets. They are for liabilities. So in that cases what you require is specific audit procedures on the respective items you are going to perform. Second, these are the 3 things that you will be doing. So basically we have 3, pursue what? Audit report and the audited financial statements. Second, check the consistency of the accounting policies. And the third one we talk about what? The 3 things. 1, pursue the audit report. Second, you talk about is general audit procedures which we are going to follow in routine. Third, specific audit procedures. General are basically for current assets and current liabilities. Specific is for fixed assets and fixed liabilities or long-term liabilities which are ordinarily going to be specific audit procedures. Now after performing all the audit procedures, have a frame line clear in your mind. After you perform the audit procedure, you will obtain audit evidences. So you have obtained an audit evidence regarding a material misstatement being present where? In the opening balance. So you have to perform additional audit procedures as appropriate to understand whether really there is a material misstatement present, which is having an impact on the current year financial statement. If you conclude that yes, this is going to have an impact on the current year financial statement, that this is as good as what? Evaluation of misstatement identified during the course of audit. So you are going to communicate this matter to the management and TCWG as per SA 450. Correct? Then, this is all the audit procedure regarding what? Identifying what? Misstatements in opening balances. But the second part of the standard is telling you what? Regarding accounting policies, whether they are appropriately used, consistently applied, and if not, disclosure requirement. So the auditor has to obtain what? Sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding its appropriate application, consistently applied, and if not consistently applied, then the reason for the same has to be disclosed and accounted for. Then what we talk about here is regarding the audit report that you get from predecessor auditor, previous year auditor. So when the previous year audit report you read and you realize there is a modified opinion and the reason for modification you read and you understand that this is the reason for modification. So you will understand that this was the area, for example, debtors were misstated, salary was misstated. So there you understand what is an indication that there could be a misstatement. So in the current year, when you assess the risk of material misstatement, you will take into account this matter as well for you to check, put additional procedures and understand what was the reason for the modification and is that modification of the previous year. The reason for modification of the previous year, is it present even today? That is current year. Correct? So this you will take into account as per say 315. Last, suppose you have not able to obtain any evidences regarding the opening balance. You will end up giving either qualified opinion or disclaimer of opinion. You obtained evidences telling that there is a misstatement in the opening balance which has a reflection on the current year. In that case, what you will do? You are going to give a qualified or adverse opinion as which is appropriate. Then, if accounting policies are not appropriate or not consistently followed, in that case, you will give what? Qualified or adverse. That means no appropriate disclosure also has been done. So, you will give a qualified or adverse opinion, whichever is appropriate. And suppose if the predecessor auditor had given a modified opinion and the reason for which he has given a modified opinion is not been corrected by the management even today, and that is impacting my current year financial statement also, in that case, I will also end up giving what? A modified opinion as per SA 705. So this is all about SA 510, initial audit engagements, opening balances. A very simple standard, very logical, and it only gives responsibility of the auditor regarding you to understand that the closing balance would be correctly shown or would be clearly given as it is correct if the opening balance is correct. Understand, logic is very simple. When you are reaching a destination, that is to give an opinion, if the path that you choose at the very beginning is wrong, conclusion, that is the destination, will be wrong. So this standard is emphasizing only where you begin correctly, the end will be correct, right? And here we talk about which? Initial audit engagement. So it is the conditional standard. So if you remember, we had done SA 200 where we told that the auditor has to comply or do the audit in accordance with all the relevant standard. Relevant are what? If it is applicable in that area, that standard has to be followed. So if it is an initial audit engagement, here the relevant standard will be SA 510 as well. So in that case, auditor will be required to comply with SA 510 as well during the course of conducting his audit. So with this, we close SA 510, initial audit engagement, opening balance. Having understood SA 510 in detail, it is now time for us to understand the entire topic again through some questions. This will enable you to understand how to write in the examination and what kind of questions we can expect from SA 510 in your examination. So let us take few of them for practice. With this, your concept will be clear and you will get an idea of how to frame the examination answers. So the first question that we take up is, you have been appointed as the auditor of Moon Limited for the financial year 21-22. As the auditor of the company, you want to ensure that the closing balance of the previous year have been correctly brought forward in the current year. State the audit procedures for the same to ensure that there is no misstatement. Alright. So here the question is about, we are auditing Moon Limited and it is for the year 21-22. Now we the auditors require to ensure about the closing balances of the previous year, whether they have been brought forward in the current year correctly or not. And also with that, we have to see that there is no misstatement in the opening balances. Alright. So here, since the question is focusing upon opening balances, we know it is targeting on SA 510, which talks about initial audit engagement opening balances. Now here we need to understand that the question is talking only about ensuring that there is no misstatement in the opening balances. Alright. So now let us see what we have to do. First thing we know that the first thing that we are going to adopt here is that we will check if the previous year has been audited, then we will take the past year financial statement. That is recent years we can say. The recent year financial statement we could take. So here we could have taken of 2020, 21 and we would also expect the audit report with us and then we will analyze and see if there is any information relevant with respect to the opening balance which would enable us to understand if there is any misstatement. Alright. So first thing is we are going to take the recent year financial statements. Second, we will see that the opening balances, do they reflect the appropriate application of the accounting policies and whether they have been consistently applied. So we will take what? Appropriate accounting policies and their consistency. Right now. Third, we will talk about how to ensure that the opening balance does not contain a misstatement. So this standard very clearly gives us 3 more ways in which we can understand whether the opening balance contains a misstatement. So which are the 3 things that we could do? So any of the 3 audit procedures we could adopt and we could analyze whether there is anything that we could do. So first thing is that we are going to check whether, like before that we need to understand that before application of accounting policies, we should also ensure, that is second and this would be third, we should also ensure that the previous year balances have been correctly brought forward in the current year. That means the copy and paste has happened correctly or not. That is previous year closing balance is going to be what? The current year opening balance. So before we take the application of accounting policy and all, we have to first ensure that the past year, that is the previous year closing balance, have been correctly brought forward in the current year. That is what? Copy and paste has happened correctly or not. Then we will see that the opening balances are reflecting the accounting policies which are appropriately adopted and consistently adopted. Along with that, we are also going to see that any of the following methods we can adopt or what. First, we will pursue the previous year audit report. So we will ensure that the previous year audit report we take and check if there is any kind of information that we could use for the purpose of evaluation the opening balance correctness. Alright, then we would see that is there any general procedure which we are basically adopting to check a routine transaction with which we are able to obtain any sufficient appropriate audit evidence with respect to our opening balance. Basically we do this for what? Current assets and current liabilities. And as I taught you the main content of the topic where I told you that in these areas usually specifically we do not do anything on the opening balance. While ordinary checking of the current assets and the current liabilities, we come to an understanding about some evidences pertaining to the opening balance. So specifically we do not do anything for opening balance checking. But during the flow of our audit, we will automatically obtain evidences pertaining to the opening balance. And there I told is very commonly done where for the current assets like the debtors, current liabilities like the creditors. Right? Then we will talk about specific audit procedures. What are specific audit procedures? Basically these are for items like fixed assets, non-current liabilities. Right? Here what happens is, we will perform specific audit procedures to obtain their opening balance details. So basically we could take the third party confirmations. Like the bankers, we could obtain confirmation from them what is the opening balance or what is the beginning of the year figure appearing as outstanding in their books. So that we would understand what the client is recorded is actually correct or not with respect to the opening balance of the liabilities. So here we are going to perform specific procedures on the fixed assets and the non-current liabilities. Alright. So with this we will be able to analyze and understand whether there is any misstatement in the opening balance which has been carried forward. Alright. So once again for our understanding, for us to ensure that the opening balance has no misstatement, opening balance has no misstatement, first we will check the past year, that is not exactly the past year, the recent year financial statement. With that we'll be able to understand with some kind of information which is prevalent there, and this would help us. Like for example, if they have given regarding some closing stock misstatement, so obviously we'll get an idea that opening stock would have misstatements. Then we will ensure whether the previous year's figures have been brought forward correctly in the current year or not. Because if the brought forward is not correct, copy paste is not correct, closing balances will be wrong. Then we would see that the opening balance have an appropriate reflection of the accounting policies and whether they have been consistently applied in the current year as well. Then the standard also gives us 3 other different procedures to ensure that there would be no misstatement. First, again they tell us pursue the previous year's audit report, previous year's financial statement to check if any information could be useful for us. Then we talk about the general procedure wherein they are telling specifically don't do anything to identify about the balance. But the routine procedure of the auditor, what is doing the audit in the normal course, if while doing those procedures only, sometimes you will get evidences for the opening balance. Like when you check the bank transactions, when you check the receipts of the debtors during the year, you could get an indication of what would be the opening balance of the debtor. Similarly, payment made to the purchasers, you would get an indication about some relevant factors regarding the opening creditors, right? So with that we will get to an understanding. So they're telling while you are performing your routine procedures, you could be able to obtain sufficient appropriate evidences regarding the opening balances. Basically they are for current assets and current liabilities. Usually it happens in that scenario. Then they say there are certain items like you have the fixed assets, the tangible assets, or maybe the non-current liabilities like the bank loans, long-term loans. Okay, these usually what we do is we were going to perform specific audit procedures from them. On them, like means we are going to obtain third-party confirmation. We will be checking their documentation to understand the terms and conditions. So basically we'll inspect documents. We will get the third-party confirmation. So we are going to perform specific audit procedures on them to understand the opening balance details or to obtain the evidences regarding the opening balance. Now, further it is important for us to also understand that once you get an understanding that there could be a material misstatement, then you will be performing what? Additional audit procedure. Then you will perform additional audit procedure. With this, you will be able to draw an evidence whether a misstatement is present. And if you are ensuring that yes, misstatement is present, then you will do the evaluation as per SA 450. Because when the misstatement is present even in the current year, it is as good as you are going to evaluate the misstatements as per SA 450. So when you identify a misstatement, the evaluation of the misstatement, how we do? As per SA 450, where we will be communicating the matter with the management, TCWG, etc. So this is what the question is ensuring from us or asking from us. What are the audit procedures which the auditor will adopt for the purpose of ensuring that there is no misstatement in the opening balance? So these are all the procedures given in the standard which we are going to adopt for the purpose of ensuring that there is no misstatement in the opening balances. The next question that we take up is, in an initial audit engagement, the auditor will have to satisfy about the sufficiency and appropriateness of the opening balance to ensure that they are free from material misstatement, which may materially affect the current year financial statements. Lay down the audit procedures you will follow when the financial statements are audited for the first time. If after performing the audit procedures, you are not satisfied about the correctness of the opening balance, what approach you will adopt in drafting your audit report? So here the question is 2 parts. One is about the audit procedure that you have to talk. Second, the conclusion of the audit procedures that you have obtained. Alright. So let us have an analysis of the question. We'll analyze the question first and then take up the answer. So in an initial audit engagement, so the question is very clear. It is about initial audit engagement. Okay, so first time the accounts are getting audited or you are doing the audit for the first time. The auditor will have to satisfy about the sufficiency and the appropriateness of the opening balance to ensure that they are free from misstatement. So this is the duty of the auditor which is expressed in the question, that we have to get an evidence that they are free from misstatements. What? Opening balances. Now, which may materially affect the current year financial statements. First question is, lay down the audit procedure you will follow when the financial statements are audited for the first time. Okay. So here, understand, it is a similar question which we have just now discussed, where they are questioning you about what? Audit procedures. Right? But here we need to understand that the financial statements are audited for the first time. That means previous year, no audit. And if audit is not there, there is no audit report. So here you have to understand very clearly that there is no availability of the previous year audited financial statements, neither there is an audit report. So there is going to be elimination of certain points. Clear? So here what they say, lay down the audit procedures you will follow when the financial statements are audited for the first time. Okay, now this means that in the previous year the audit was not conducted. As per my understanding, the way we interpret the question is that there has not been any predecessor auditor. In fact, the client is getting the accounts audited for the first time. So as per the understanding, previous year financial statements have not got audited. So corresponding audit report is not available. So here we need to understand that those points which are going to talk about using previous year audit report or the predecessor audit report will not be applicable in this scenario. Alright. So here what will you do? You will talk about ensuring that the previous year balances have been correctly brought forward in the current year. That is, copy and paste has happened correctly. Then you will also mention the point of accounting policies, whether correct and consistent. Correct? Third, you will talk about using any of the three. But when you talk about the three procedures, the first one you cannot, which is pursuit of audit report, you cannot do because it is audited for the first time. So this point will not be prevalent here. So here your answer will be regarding general procedures, which is when you perform the audit procedures regularly, automatically in the flow, you will be able to obtain information which will become relevant for you to check your opening balance, which is for what? Current assets and current liabilities. And then they also ask you to perform what? Specific audit procedures. Right? So this is what the answer for the audit procedures that you are going to adopt when the financial statements are getting audited for the first time. Because previous year audit report not available, so all those points which are including the audit report or the audited financial statement of the previous years or the recent years, those all we were not going to consider. Alright, then that is about the first part. Now let us understand the next part of the question. They say, if after performing the audit procedure, you are not satisfied about the correctness of the opening balance, what approach you will adopt in drafting the audit report? So here now what has happened is, you have performed these procedures. Through this you have come to a conclusion, that means you have obtained evidence. So let us take the point where you have obtained a sufficient and appropriate audit evidence that there is a material misstatement present. And this material misstatement is affecting the current year financial statements materially. And the management is not even rectifying it, not even adjusting it, not even appropriately disclosing it. Okay, that means the misstatement is even continued today. Because understand, when you identify a misstatement which is even present in the current year, which is going to affect the current year financial statement, you will do what? The implication of SA 450, where you are going to intimate this to whom? The management and the TCWG. So the management and the TCWG have to take the action that they have to rectify, account, adjust or appropriately disclose. If they are not doing anything and the material misstatement continues even in the current year, and this is materially affecting the financial statement, and you as the auditor have obtained the sufficient appropriate audit evidence, then in that case, the implication on the audit report will be that you would draft a report giving either a qualified opinion or you would give adverse opinion. Or you would give what? Adverse opinion. So this is when you have obtained a sufficient appropriate evidences about the misstatements being present and management not doing anything with that, that is they are neither rectifying, neither accounting for it, neither disclosing it, nothing the management is willing to do. That is, the material misstatement is also affecting the current year financial statements. So in that case, you will give either qualified opinion or adverse opinion as may be appropriate in the given circumstances. Clear? Then, second scenario will be where you are unable to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence with respect to a misstatement present in the opening balances. There is doubt in your mind, but you are not able to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding the correctness of the opening balances. So in that case, the auditor is going to give either a qualified opinion or he will end up giving disclaimer of opinion. Correct? So we have two things to understand here. If you are unable to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence with respect to the correctness of the opening balance, then the way we draft our audit report will be, that is the implication on our drafting will be, we will end up giving either a qualified opinion or we give disclaimer of opinion and thereby modify our audit report accordingly as per SA 705, which is modification to an independent auditor's report. Got it? So this question is talking in two parts. First part very clearly talks about audit procedures, correct? And that too when you are auditing for the first time, that means previous year financial statements are neither audited and correspondingly or therefore you do not have what? Audit report. Second, you talk about the next part of the topic, that this next part of the question which is telling you that you perform the audit procedures but you are not able to come to a conclusion to give what? The correctness regarding the opening balance. Either you have evidences telling opening balance is not correct, or you are in a position, no evidences regarding the correctness of opening balance. They could be correct or they could be misstated. Based on that, using or applying SA 705, we will either give qualified, adverse or disclaimer of opinion based on the relevant circumstances. The third question that we take up now is CAX, a recently qualified practicing chartered accountant, got his first audit assignment of Futura Private Limited for the financial year 21-22. He obtained all the relevant appropriate audit evidence for the items relating to the statement of P&L. However, while auditing the balance sheet items, CAX left out obtaining appropriate audit evidence, say no confirmation from the outstanding account receivables amounting to rupees 100 lakhs, continues as it is from the last year on the affirmation of the management that there is no receipt and future credits during the year. CAX therefore excluded from the audit program the audit of account receivable on the understanding that it pertains to the preceding year which was already audited by the predecessor auditor. Comment. So very interesting question. So here they have given you exactly the main framework of how an initial audit engagement would look like, and this example or this question would make your concept even better. Okay. So let us analyze the question in detail. So here they are talking about CAX, a recently qualified practicing chartered accountant who got his first audit assignment. First audit assignment means what? It is initial audit engagement. Correct? So it is initial audit engagement. The name of the company is Futura Private Limited and the year that we are going to audit is for 2021-22. He obtained all the relevant appropriate audit evidences for the items related to statement of P&L. So all the income and expenditure, he has obtained the evidences, so we have no problem with it. However, while auditing balance sheet item, that is account balances when he is checking, CAX left out obtaining appropriate audit evidences, say he has not obtained confirmation from the outstanding receivables amounting to rupees 100 lakhs, which continued as it is from the last year on the affirmation of the management that there is no receipt and future credits during the year. That means management has told Mr. X that look, this account receivable, that is debtors of 100 lakhs were there in the year 2020-21 as well, and they continued the same in 21-22 also. That means that time also it was 100 lakhs. Now also it is 100 lakh. Because in the current year, absolutely there has been no receipt or future credits to this account. Okay, this is what the management has given explanation. And the auditor, they also tell he has left out obtaining evidence. So he has not obtained what? Sufficient appropriate audit evidence with respect to what? Account receivables. And obviously account receivable, we usually tend to have sufficient appropriate evidences based on external confirmation. So we are saying no appropriate confirmations have been come. CAX therefore excluded from the audit program. Audit program is nothing but the plan of audit. Okay. The audit of account receivable on the understanding that it pertains to the preceding year which was already audited by the predecessor auditor. So what is happening here is he is thinking, or he has removed the entire checking of this 100 lakhs from his audit program. That means he is not keeping himself responsible to perform any audit procedure on this 100 lakhs and is simply relying on the management's answer or the affirmation given, and based on that is giving a conclusion. So now let us understand what we have to do. Obviously we know that as per SA 510, we have a responsibility towards the opening balance. It is our initial audit engagement that we understood because we are taking the audit for the first time. Alright. So it is initial audit engagement. So we definitely have responsibility towards the opening balance. The question is giving a hint that this is an opening balance figure because they are telling it is continued to be as it is from the last year. That means this debtors balance is not the fresh debtor balance which has appeared in this particular year, but we have carried forward from the previous year as it is. So it did appear in the opening balance. What this auditor is doing is, he has not performed any audit procedure, neither he intends to perform any audit procedure because he has excluded this particular plan from his program. Okay? And he's simply going to rely on what? The management. That means the management are giving the affirmations. So based on the affirmation, that is what the management is giving, he is simply relying on that. And he is telling that the audit of the account receivable on the understanding that it pertains to what? The preceding year which is already audited by the predecessor auditor. So now tell me, only because the predecessor auditor has already checked this closing balance of debtors in the previous year, doesn't it become your responsibility to ensure that this figure is correct? Don't you think SA 510 is entrusting with the auditor's responsibility or giving responsibility to the auditor that when it is your initial audit engagement, you are responsible to adopt audit procedures and to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence with respect to opening balance? Very much yes. So here what the auditor is doing is simply relying upon the predecessor audit report or predecessor auditor's work. He is not only obtaining audit evidence, he simply is telling it was already done by him, so let me not check it. Absolutely wrong. You are guilty here. You have not applied due diligence. You are not applying your practicability, that means your knowledge. You are not using it. And you, instead of performing what you are required to perform, you are telling somebody else has done in the past year, so let it be, I am not going to check it. No. You have been given responsibility as per SA 510 that look, when it is your initial audit engagement, you have to obtain sufficient appropriate evidence regarding the opening balance. Here the opening balance that we talk about is about 100 lakh, which is a debtor, and for this debtor, you have to obtain confirmation that whether this balance is actually correct or not. If it is not correct and you continue doing it, then your entire audit makes no sense. Because when the opening balance is not verified by you, how can you ensure closing balance is correct? So here the approach adopted by the auditor, that is simply going to not check the debtor's balance because it is checked by the earlier auditor, is absolutely not correct. He is guilty of professional misconduct. He is guilty of lacking professional due diligence here, not to perform his work with due diligence. And we know as per SA 200, it is the responsibility or the requirement of the auditor that he has to carry on the work with due diligence. So this is not due diligence. He is not using his intelligence, he is not using his experience, he is not using his judgment appropriately in this situation, and he is not obtaining evidence regarding the opening balance. So here the approach adopted by the auditor is absolutely incorrect. So you can use the work of the predecessor auditor for understanding what was the misstatement, but you simply cannot tell that he has done it, I will not do it. It is absolutely a wrong approach. So here the right approach would be that the auditor had to perform audit procedures on the account receivable balance. He could either do some kind of routine checking through the bank statements and all of that to analyze the credits that have happened during the year. Based on that, he could come to a conclusion what would be the opening balance figure. But since the question is telling that there has not been any kind of credit or receipt from the debtor, then you would apply specific audit procedures on this particular balance of 100 lakh and you would obtain external confirmation from this party to ensure whether the balance reported is correct or not. This would give you sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding the correctness of the 100 lakh figure, which is the opening balance. And then you could have performed the remaining audit procedures and you could give a conclusion on the financial statement. If you do not do this way you would not be able to obtain evidence and you are not in a position to give any kind of opinion. Therefore, you will be guilty of professional misconduct for not performing your work with due diligence. Clear? So here it is required for the auditor that he has to adopt or obtain audit evidences by applying proper audit procedures in the given scenario. Here, the proper or the appropriate audit procedure would be to obtain external confirmation from these debtors and confirm whether the balance is correctly recorded. Okay? Because here what they are telling is there has not been any receipt or future credit. So in the routine transaction, if you are going to check the bank statement, you would anyway not obtain any kind of maybe evidence regarding opening balance. So here we would believe that you obtain what? Specific audit procedures you adopt and you obtain evidence. But you are required to obtain evidence with respect to opening balance. That is your responsibility. SA 510 is telling you that if it is initial audit engagement towards the opening balance, you have a responsibility. So you cannot conclude your audit without following SA 510, where it is required by the auditor to obtain evidence with respect to correctness of the opening balance. And here the approach of the auditor is wrong and he is also considered to be guilty of not performing his work with due diligence. So we call it to be what? Due diligence, which is required for the auditor as per SA 200, where we have studied already what are the responsibilities or what are the requirements of the auditors while performing the audit.